One of the reasons one may argue that the American economy might be fading is the erosion of the middle class. The middle-class citizens are the ones that constitute the backbone of the country. Take a look at this chart. Over the last 5 decades, the size of America's middle class has decreased significantly. While the middle class remains the most significant income group in terms of population, their total income has dropped from 62% in 1970 to only 42% in 2021. During the same period, total income earned by high-income Americans has grown from 29% to 50%, even though the number of high-income earners in America is still less than half of the middle class. Given the importance of the topic, in this video, we'll talk about 10 points on how the destruction of the middle class affects America. But before moving on, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the notification bell. That way, you'll help us to produce more videos on America's most important economic topics. Without any delay, let's get to the first point. Number 1, high levels of education. When a family moves out of poverty, their entire perspective on life changes. They're no longer forced to focus on their daily needs, such as their next meal or doctor visits. Instead, they can budget their funds and think long-term. This often includes saving money and prioritizing the education of their children. For instance, if the parents had only attended elementary school, they may now aim to have their son or daughter complete high school, or even pursue a university degree. This shift in focus is critical because it opens up new opportunities for the family and their children. Once grown, these young people can make significant contributions to society in various ways. They may choose to develop their own businesses, participate in cultural events, or specialize in critical skills. Unfortunately, this change in perspective and focus not only benefits the family, but the community as a whole. Number 2, economic stability. A thriving middle class is crucial for a capitalist economy because they're the ones who spend the most on consumer goods. They form the market. Economists have always known that middle-class individuals tend to spend a larger percentage of their income, have a higher marginal propensity to consume, while wealthy individuals have a higher tendency to save. Henry Ford understood this truth when he increased his workers' wages so they could afford to buy the cars they produced. Currently, consumer spending accounts for 62 to 70% of the gross domestic product, the amount of money that changes hands in America. Without the expectation of selling the goods produced, there would be no reason to build factories or hire workers. If consumer spending decreases, there would be no incentive to invest in new companies and industries. Number 3, job creation. Middle-class families support small businesses and entrepreneurship through their consumption. However, instead of creating more middle-class jobs, they disappear fastest. The pandemic has caused a contrasting scenario where blue-collar workers remain a sought-after commodity, while white-collar workers are projected to be the first to be put to the sword. According to a report by Deloitte and the Manufacturing Institute in 2018, as many as 2.4 million manufacturing jobs may remain unfilled between 2018 and 2028. The report predicts that this labor shortage could have a negative economic impact of around $2.5 trillion in the United States. Companies have been reducing white-collar staff in favor of more blue-collar jobs. Meta, the parent company of Facebook, announced laying off roughly 13% of its workforce as CEO Mark Zuckerberg admitted he miscalculated the initial boom post-pandemic. Number 4, tax revenue. A thriving middle class is a cornerstone for generating government revenue and funding essential public services such as healthcare, education, and infrastructure. According to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development's annual revenue statistics report, the tax-to-GDP ratio in the United States has risen by 0.8 percentage points from 25.8% in 2020 to 26.6% in 2021. The report also reveals that between 2020 and 2021, the OECD average increased from 33.6% to 34.1%. However, despite this growth, The tax-to-GDP ratio in the United States has declined from 28.3% in 2000 to 26.6% in 2021. In contrast, the OECD average in 2021 was higher than in 2000, 34.1% compared with 32.9%. It's worth noting that the highest tax-to-GDP ratio in the United States was recorded at 28.3% in 2000, while the lowest ratio was 22.9% in 2009. Number 5, political engagement. The middle class has the means and motivation to participate in the political process, holding leaders accountable and advocating for policies that benefit the broader population. The middle class promotes political stability and good governance, prevents polarization, and encourages government compromise by embracing democratic values and institutions. This chart shows that wealthy and well-educated Americans are more inclined to vote and donate money to politicians as compared to those in lower class positions. This indicates that individuals belonging to the middle and upper classes have more significant political influence and participation compared to those in lower positions. Moreover, individuals with higher status are more likely to hold political positions than those in lower class positions. Number 6, innovation and entrepreneurship. A significant number of successful entrepreneurs in the United States have come from middle-class backgrounds, contributing to the growth of the economy and technology. According to a statistic that measures the rate of new entrepreneurial activity per 100,000 adults in the U.S. from 2000 to 2021, the rate of new entrepreneurs in 2021 was 0.36%, which translates to 360 individuals per 100,000 adults. This means that there are approximately 360 new entrepreneurs for every 100,000 adults in the United States. Number 7, social cohesion. A robust middle class plays a vital role in promoting social cohesion by reducing income inequality and fostering a sense of shared prosperity. This, in turn, can lead to lower social tensions and crime rates. In the second quarter of 2023, the top 10% of earners in the United States own 69% of the total wealth, while the lowest 50% of earners only owned 2.5% of it. Despite the commonly held notion that the United States is a country where hard work and determination always lead to success, this is often not the case. In fact, as of 2021, 9.3% of households in the United States had an annual income below $15,000. The stark reality is that the gap between the rich and poor in America remains vast, with a tiny percentage of people owning the vast majority of the country's wealth. Number 8, consumer confidence. A solid middle class boosts consumer confidence and drives economic growth. Consumer confidence has experienced a decline for the second consecutive month in September 2023. The latest headline figure showed a disappointing outcome, with the expectations index indicating another decrease. While the present situation index mainly remained unchanged, write-in responses from consumers indicated that they are concerned about the general increases in prices, particularly for groceries and gasoline. They also express anxieties regarding the political situation and the trend of higher interest rates. Decrease in consumer confidence was observed across all age groups, and this trend was more evident among those with household incomes of $50,000 or more. Number 9, social mobility. The middle class serves as a bridge for social mobility, allowing people to improve their financial circumstances through education and hard work. One striking feature of the United States is its high level of economic advantage passed down from parents to children, with around 50% of a father's income position inherited by his son. However, this figure is much lower in other countries like Norway or Canada, where it stands at less than 20%. In terms of social mobility, the U.S. also lags behind some other countries like Denmark, where twice as many children raised in the bottom 20% of the income distribution make it to the top 20% as adults. This suggests that the U.S. has a lower level of equality of opportunity compared to other countries. Moreover, there are vast disparities in life expectancy, education quality, exposure to crime and toxins, and access to healthcare between the poor in the US and those in other OECD countries. Number 10, economic resilience. During economic downturns, a thriving middle class provides a buffer as its members are financially stable and less likely to fall into poverty. In July 2023, the personal savings rate in the United States amounted to 4.1%, up from 3.5% in July 2022. The chart clearly shows how the individual savings rate decimated compared to the beginning of 2020. According to recent data, only the wealthiest 20% of American households have managed to accumulate excess savings during the pandemic. Fortunately, middle class continues to save less, which leaves the country vulnerable in future economic hardships. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and feel free to share your thoughts on the subject in the comments section below.